What's up, everybody? Here we are back in part 2 of Kyoto. I have some stuff to do in terms of explaining to you about what I'm doing, what my processes are right now, and the such. So what we want to do right now is we're going to want to send 3 of these guys. We're going to send our villagers in there. We're going to produce some more monks, get them in there, and I don't believe I have a market. No, I don't. So I'm going to have to build a market as well. That's not hard to do. I'm just going to have this guy stop his duties right now and build a market. The reason I'm doing this, I'm going to need to sell some gold, or not sell some, buy some gold at the market to produce some more monks, because in last part I left it kind of open-ended because I pursued 2 different things. I pursued getting units over here to prevent the relics being placed in the monasteries, and I took down a castle. The reason I took down Hyogo. The reason I did all those 3 things because you're probably thinking you can take different paths for completing this scenario. You can go for all 3 castles, you can just annihilate all 3 of your enemies, or you can capture the 5 relics, all the relics that Kyoto puts in their monastery. Well, I do pursue multiple things, but the reason I took down the castle is not because I was going to pursue it was not because I was going to pursue taking down all 3 castles. It was rather because I wanted to disable the placing of the 5 relics inside the monastery. For some reason, if you take down this castle over here, or one of the castles, they prevent they don't go through with their attaining of the 5 relics. At any point, they could place the relics in their monastery because they're just inside their base, but for some reason they get a trigger at about 21 minutes. But if you take down this castle, it pushes that limit back to like 40 or something like that, and it allows you to get some time for yourself where you can get some monks ready, get a castle built over here, kill some of the units that try to take your monks when you get these relics, and you can bring them back here, bring them to your monastery over here. And because you are separated from Kyoto, your only enemy at this point that will do anything other than Osaka, just chilling over there. Because you're separated from Kyoto on land, they won't really have any threat other than cannon galleons or galleons to you. But your castles, strategically placed, if you want to put one over here, down here in the marshes, or right here, will take down any of their naval units, and you'll basically prevent your monastery from being destroyed if you have it inland enough too. So right there, you're fine. So once you get the relics over here, the scenario is basically done. So that's what I'm going to be pursuing. I didn't say it that clearly, and I said we're going to get spies. That's probably not going to happen. And I'm going to produce some more villagers now to start mining some gold over here, because I'm going to be focused on getting these relics, and that's most important to me, because you don't really have to do any battling. You don't have to worry about getting trebuchets up, getting additional resources to produce costly units like trebuchets to take down the castle, and you don't have to worry about getting catapulto or siege engineers if you focus on getting the relics and you do it in this fashion. So now that we have our 5 monks, because there are 5 relics, we can send our guys over here. We have 4 over here as well, so don't forget about that 1 monk over here. You can do some scouting out with your knights, get an idea of what it looks like over here. There are a lot of houses lining the streets on western Kyoto that you're going to have to take care of or take into consideration when you're building. So what were you? You were a lumberjack, so I'm just going to have these guys start building mining camp over here. This is of secondary importance, gathering resources, but you never know. You always want to prepare for different circumstances. That's why I took down Hyogo. It's because in case I were to screw up on taking down one of these castles, they would get those relics quicker, and I would be in trouble because the relic timer would be going down. I wanted to take down Hyogo so I could get a good amount of resources going. I like this. I prefer this place better because it's inland. I don't have to worry about Kyoto hitting from over here, which they will with their navy if you stay over there. And it just makes things easier for you if you go for Hyogo. You can get an army up quicker as well. So you always want to prepare for multiple variables that will occur throughout this scenario. Now, I want to get my villagers out so I can prep for building the castle. So I brought these units over here at the end of this part in order to clear out this wall and get ready for getting these relics. I took down the castle obviously to increase the time I had before the relics were placed in the monasteries, and it looks like they are being placed in there right now. So we can just stand them no attack stance, and we're going to have our castle being built right behind it. It's okay if all the relics get placed in here, but you see we have about 8 more minutes. They probably have 3 relics in there right now, but we probably have about 8 more minutes added on to the time that it would take for the relics to be placed in the monastery. It's actually easier if you allow all the relics to be placed in this monastery, because you can just take down this monastery right here with the bombard cannons you have. Then you have less of a trip for your monks, so you don't have to worry about the arbalists that are over here on the cliff where the castle was initially, killing your monks. And there's a guard tower over here too, so you might get hit when your monks are traveling back as well. So don't attack the monks that come with the relic to the monastery in the process of building your castle, because that'll notify other Kyoto units that the enemy is here. So you want to bring out these hand cannoneers as well, because they'll give you additional firepower when they're in your castle. Take down some of the samurai and definitely the arbalists. You probably won't get hit by any trebuchets over here. So, alright, so that are all the relics. That's not a big deal. I'm going to run away now. And they look like they're attracted to that knight, so I'm going to make sure that they don't go for these villagers. They go for these knights rather, so I can just take down that monk real quick. Alright, so all the monks are ready. We can get them all. Alright, so they're all ready. Get them behind there. Get your bombard cannons out as well, just in case you need them. And we're going to unload everybody. Make sure everybody's in the castle as well. You're taking down these infantry. You should have plenty of range and most of your in your castle to take down pretty much all their units. And obviously with these knights you can take down any oncoming trebuchets as well. So I'm going to bring these bombard cannons over here. Put them on no attack stance in case you do need. Actually, I'm going to use them to take down this monastery. And then once obviously the monastery is taken care of, you can just run these 5 monks in here. You might want to bring an extra monk or 2. And I need to organize that crap. And create some more villagers. How many lumberjacks do I have? I don't really care what my villagers are doing, quite honestly. Alright, so take the samurai down. You always want to focus on units when units are oncoming. More so than any structures around you. The relics are right here. All 5 of those relics before they're in the monastery are right there. So that's where they are initially. And now that the relics are displaced, you want to send these bombard cannons over here. And you want to wait for these arbalists to get taken care of, because it looks like they're sending in a couple of them right now for some reason. Bye-bye. Alright, so just be wary of the guard tower that you're going to see coming at you with the... right there, you can tell right there. Get your monks out of there. You can heal up those guys. Make sure none of these relics are taken, because there are multiple shrines, monasteries placed throughout the Kyoto base. I would say there are about 5 of them. So once one monastery is taken care of, once you take down one Kyoto monastery, they're going to build another one, or they're going to train another monk. And with that, well, this is interesting. Alright, so we got all the monks with all the relics now. That's all we care about. So what I was getting to is once one of the where are those monks? What did I lose? I lost the bombard cannon. Oh no. Alright, so I'm gonna take down this bombard cannon, not a problem. Doesn't really matter if you lose this castle. Looks like I probably lose a couple of these knights because they're elite samurais. Not a big deal. But now that all these monks are in the transport ship, you want to be a little bit careful. You might want to send a couple decoys. So I'm going to send these 2 transport ships over here along the way, because you might run into a galleon or 2 from Kyoto. They wander. That's their most threatening force right now. Is their navy. So you want to be concerned about them. And our plan worked out perfectly. We allowed ourselves to keep the monks from getting those relics in the monastery a little bit longer. Took them more time to get those relics back in the monastery by taking down this castle, and by getting to Hyogo, taking down Hyogo. That allowed us to have a quicker travel time to Kyoto, and that gave us a little bit more quicker access to these what are they called? to these resources, and it also gave us a little bit more protection as we're much more inland than where we would be if we were to remain in Osaka's base. Alright, so all these monks are back. You want to choose a very centrally located place. So I'm going to rebuild my monastery, actually. So I plan on building my monastery right there. Will be okay. It's a little bit more west than that, so take an idle villager, obviously besides those three. So this guy looks like he was getting some wood that'll apply over to the monastery, and we're gonna build the monastery right there so we can just wait right now. And obviously we're just gonna have to wait our 250 years. We gotta wait our turn while we kill some of these samurai. The nice thing about Kyoto, when you're taking them on, you're obviously separated. Both the bridges that would normally connect to Osaka and Hyogo have been destroyed. I don't know if that happened during the civil wars or anything. So they're separated from you. Their only access to you is through naval force. They could theoretically drop off some units through their transport ships, but they don't do that. They're not aggressive in terms of... so we got 300 years to wait. They're not aggressive in terms of land-based military units, so they don't really come with transport ships and units. In my experience, at least how long I've played the scenarios. And as a result, you're safe and you're protected from them if you come to Hyogo. So that's why I came here once again. I just want to reiterate all these things because I wasn't that clear in the last part. I said we're going to get spies and all that, but I realized we weren't going to have enough time to do that going through this mode of completing the scenario. As you can tell, at this point, we have a good pace and a good control of what's going on. You can tell that we'll have the ability to gather as many resources as leisurely as we want to with all this gold. You got some stone up here. You got additional gold and stone up here as well, and we can even go back to Osaka. So you can tell we're just abounding with resources. We have 2 town centers, and you can tell that Kyoto's navy gets pretty aggressive down here over Osaka. That's why I migrated over to Hyogo. It's not a big deal, but it's a little bit more safe and secure over there. And once again, it's just a nice short trip over to Kyoto from Hyogo. So things are looking beautiful, and you can tell just when I was getting back to that, the pace of this game would allow me to get in a large enough army, get all my technologies researched. And at this point in the game, you don't have many technologies that you would need to research as you're in the Imperial Age already. But because of those things, you would be able to get a good enough army up, you would be able to get a good enough force up, and you would be able to take out Kyoto no problem whatsoever. You could take out all their castles, you can even take them out as a whole. So that just shows how easy this scenario can become if you get rid of Osaka and Hyogo. You focus your efforts on Kyoto. You get spies, which is a pretty easy endeavor considering it's only 5,600 gold. Once you take down Hyogo, because Hyogo can get pretty annoying with their villagers and with their taking some of the resources that you would rather have, and they do the land-based attacking against you if you were to say over here in Osaka, which would put another threat on your monastery if you were to gather these relics. Another problem too, you would just have to go by Hyogo. You could put your monks in danger of getting killed by this castle if you were to, I don't know, take a wrong turn over here. You never know what would happen. And if your monks had the relics in there, you could have to rather take out Kyoto's castles and not go the easy way and just win by relic victory. So we're taking advantage of the relics here. Not a big deal. Maybe you wanted to see me take down these castles, especially after I got off on a good note by taking down that first castle with our little trusty ice patch. You want to exploit that. You want to exploit taking down that castle. That'll give you multiple options, obviously. See, if I take down a castle right away that I can easily take care of to start off a scenario, as right now, later on in the scenario, you wouldn't have that option as their navy is very strong and they're very prompt when they are getting attacked. So they would kill your bombard cannon. You wouldn't be able to take down this castle, and you'd have to do it by forming a beachhead, coming into their base, taking out their castles one by one, which is so difficult as their base is scattered. They have units everywhere defending different structures. They have siege units in there as well, which would take down your siege units, and it's just a pain if you're going to go the conventional route, not capturing these relics. So considering I have about 5 minutes left, I'm just going to play this one through. I'm going to see how many years can get taken off my clock here in part 2 of Kyoto, and then I'll get my years down to about 30 years off screen, and then we'll finish up those 3 years on screen in part 3 and watch the cutscene, do a little recap, and I'll get prepared for Noryang Point while you guys are gone. So things are looking good. We just zoomed through this Battles of the Conquerors campaign, all the scenarios so far, through the first 7. Up to this point, I would say the most difficult and the most taxing mentally would have to be Manzikert. But if you remember from Manzikert, we zoomed through that one as well. The only reason it was most taxing is because we actually had to create a force to face and destroy a pretty entrenched base that the Byzantine army did have in Manzikert. And in all the other scenarios, we didn't really have to use brute force to annihilate an enemy, as you would expect from a Conquerors game, where conquering, hand-to-hand combat, attacking towns, attacking castles would normally be the main way of completing a scenario, unlike Age of Kings, where you'd think, okay, there might be some reconnaissance, there might be some assassinations and things like that, as opposed to full-on wars. But things have kind of been the opposite throughout this Battles of the Conqueror scenario. Zoom through Tours, obviously, right away. Vinland Saga, Hastings, obviously we just talked about Manzikert, Agincourt, Lepanto as well, and now here we are in Kyoto. So you would think, based on seeing Kyoto in its entirety, you can even get a glimpse of it right now, they would be a force to be reckoned with, but they really aren't as powerful as you would like them to be to create enough competition for you. They have a ton of resources over here. They obviously could get the relics. I think the creators thought that the relic issue that you would have to deal with would be the most difficult thing of the scenario, but it's not, because of the easy access to the shrine that they decide to use right away. If they were to use the shrines back in here in the middle of their base, it would be very difficult to get to them and destroy the relic, or destroy the monastery and claim the relics, because it's obviously in the center of their base. It would be like a Jin type deal, where you're dealing with a large base going across water, and you're having to take down a wonder before time expires, which was a very difficult operation, and it didn't end up being like that. So obviously you can see I'm using these elite cannon guns. Kyoto, with a powerful Japanese navy, is annihilating my homes in where Osaka used to be, which is not a big deal though, as my population is 1, but it's 5. My population's 5 to 1 or 7 to 1 in favor of sheep over humans. So that's good for this guy. He's gonna get plenty of food over the next couple days. You got some forage bushes you can use over here. You got some deer. I guess if he really wanted to go panda style, he could eat some of this bamboo. I don't know what bamboo tastes like. It's probably really tough, I would assume. Bamboo shoots. I'm just gonna leave that for the panda bears. So things have went well. Just hopefully you guys understood why I took down Hyogo and why I took down this castle. I wasn't entirely clear on that in part 1. I kind of wanted to keep the relic gathering on the down low for you guys, because I didn't want to spoil it for you, and I wanted to keep my options open, because I wasn't sure if I was going to go the castle route, because I didn't know if I was going to be able to pull off this relic operation, and I could have failed in my assault on Hyogo, because you don't have many resources to start off with. You don't have much time, so if you fail one time taking on Hyogo, you're probably not going to end up on the winning side, just because their relics will do you in, or their navy will just get too powerful and will just disrupt a lot. So about half a minute left off screen. I'm going to get these the relic gears whittled down. This navy's going to be preoccupied by all these walls I have over here, so I'll be fine off screen. Nothing will happen. If anything does happen that you need to be aware of strategically when I'm off screen getting these relic gears down to about 30, I will tell you that in part 3. But I'm just going to do some more maintenance down here and wait it out. So thanks for watching part 2 of Kyoto. I'll see you guys back in part 3. Took care of the girth of this scenario. I'll see you when completing it next time.